Shuttle to Dirian. What is your cargo and destination?
Parts and technical crew for the Forest Moon.
Do they have a code clearance?
It's an older code, sir, but it checks out. I was about to clear them.
This 1933 preview has a specially written song not used in the movie instead of the usual trailer narration.
Did you ever see an oyster walk? Did you ever hear a turtle talk? Did you ever see a caterpillar puffing on a pipe? Or a mouth with a sail on the tip of its tail? Certain little girl once did, and she got into a hole, poor kid. Yeah, she got into a hole of a funny old bunny, and down, down, down she slid.
Certain words that we use in our vernacular today doesn't necessarily mean the same as it did a long time ago. We've kind of altered the meanings of words, and that's been a detriment to our freedom. Another one of those words is human being, just like person, nation, state, country. Most people don't know what that word really means. God, they don't know what religion. There's been several words that organization. I'm trying to think of all the ones that have kind of rambled off. But there's a lot of words here that most people use in their everyday language. Another one, an individual. That we think we know what it means, but in reality it means something a little different than what we use it for in common language when it comes to law.
Progress report.
It's an older code, Skipper. I can't make it out.
You, higher mammal. Can you read?
No, Phil can read, though. Phil? Ship to Kenya. Wildlife Preserve, Africa.
Africa? That ain't gonna fly. Rico!
So I thought this was rather interesting. I don't know if most people are familiar with the Disney version of Alice in Wonderland. Well, this is from the book Through the Looking Glass, which is what the Alice in Wonderland Disney cartoon is from, by Lewis Carroll. So Through the Looking Glass with Lewis Carroll, and this comes from a conversation between Humpty Dumpty and Alice about the controlling meaning of words. Humpty Dumpty took the book and looked at it carefully. "Oh, that seems to be done right," he began. "Well, you're holding it upside down," Alice interrupted. "To be sure I was," Humpty Dumpty said gaily as she turned it around for him. "I thought it looked a little queer. As I was saying, that seems to be done right, though I haven't time to look at it over thoroughly just now, and that shows that there are 364 days when you might get an un-birthday present." "Certainly," said Alice, "and only one for birthday presents, you know. There's glory for you." "Well, I don't know what you mean by glory," Alice said. Humpty Dumpty smiled contemptuously. "Of course you don't, till I tell you. I meant there's a nice knockdown argument for you." "But glory doesn't mean a nice knockdown argument," Alice objected. "When I use a word," Humpty Dumpty said, in rather a scornful tone, "it means just what I choose it to mean. Neither more nor less."
Disney Plus has the greatest movies and shows of all time, which means they got all the goats. So there's Lion King, the goat. Avengers Endgame, the goat. This must be Star Wars. Careful up there, Free Solo. These are all the new goats. Maribel. Hey, Bart, leave Woody alone. A lot of goats here. There's nothing weird about this at all. I'll get the next one.
The greatest movies and shows of all time are only on Disney Plus.
"The question is," said Alice, "whether you can make words mean so many different things." The question is, said Humpty Dumpty, which is to be master? That is all. Says quite a lot from what we think of as a children's book.
Who is Lewis Carroll? Many of us will have read Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. Perhaps have not figured out yet that Lewis Carroll is actually a pseudonym. It is the name that a Church of England deacon, Charles Dodgson, took when he was writing these children's stories. He lived from 1832 to 1898. He was not only a prominent figure in the Church of England of his day at Oxford University, but he was a mathematician and a logician, that is a branch of philosophy, and a very skilled photographer. And while he was teaching in 1862, he wrote these two books, Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, said to be inspired by Alice Liddell, who was the daughter of a close friend, Henry Liddell, the great Greek scholar.
There are definite parallels with the Watchtower's interpretation methods, where the words are controlled by the user in his story.
With your feet in the air and your head on the ground, you try this trick and spin it.
Wilder than dreams, Angel, the feminine fragrance, Mugler.
In Alice Through the Looking Glass, one of the central themes of the film is time.
It's like a ship. Dead ahead.
It's not only the device that drives the plot of the story, it's the visual inspiration behind the oceans of time.
Hatter.
On a quest to help the Mad Hatter, Alice travels through the oceans of time in a machine called the Chronosphere, where she re-experiences the past by plunging into the depths of memories.
Don't worry, Hatter. I'll save you and your family.
Imageworks visualize the oceans of time as a vast, mind-bending environment. Two parallel ocean surfaces undulate with whitewater, foam, spray, mist, and the occasional bolt of lightning. Underneath the waves, embedded memory images alter the water's surface as the motion of the memories influence the waves that house them. The 82 shots that make up the Oceans of Time sequence in Alice Through the Looking Glass in many ways are pushing the boundaries of our effects and rendering capabilities. The data generated for these shots was some 900 terabytes.
It's picking up.
It also demonstrates the collaboration involved to bring this sequence to life. From concept art to resource management, every department and team had an involvement in this colossal effort.
Tried to run, tried to hide, bring on through to the other side, bring on through to the other side, bring on through to the other side.
And it may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling.
I remember reading these stories to Max when Max was about 5 and 6, I guess, years old. We read. And Max, like Alice, could see how absurd Humpty's method was of trying to figure out what words meant.
Yes, the system seems to be completely arbitrary. Nothing's connected to anything else. So here Humpty's obviously created a world that doesn't need dictionaries, doesn't need reference sources outside himself.
It also makes me remember, and some of you may remember, a show that Max and I particularly liked called Dinosaurs, where the main character works for a company called We Say So Corporation.
We Say So Corporation.
Yeah.
You want to pipe down? We're trying to watch TV here.
I love when Grandma reads to me.
Earl, I
I think Mother's reading to the baby is more important than you're watching TV.
Says you. This happens to be a very important TV show.
It's time again for Don't Lift That Heavy Object.
I love this show.
Yeah, it's real-life dinosaurs caught in the act of moving really heavy things.
Our hidden camera was on hand to catch this father and son playing a duet we like to call Prelude to Pain. Let's watch.
All right, son. Now the key here is to lift with your knees.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, smooth!
Did he say what I think he said?
Dad, you said smooth.
Well, it's not like we're on television or anything. Huh? Holy smooth!
Are they allowed to say that on TV?
No, that's why it's so clever.
Something funny.
Nothing's funny. Nothing's funny at all.
But Mom, they said a dirty word on TV.
I will not have that kind of gutter language in this house. Smooth.
What'd I say?
Well, I'm afraid that in the common culture today, Humpty Dumpty is winning. In the climate of postmodernism, our culture that celebrates diversity, the sovereign right of the individual to define reality, is now exalted over all other principles. So we too are losing regard for the objective meaning of words. Truth is interpreted by the individual. I am who I think I am, and the world is what I say it is. We call this freedom, but Alice and Lewis Carroll, I think, would call it insanity.
Mama the sheep is in a protective mood. Because, well, Mama the sheep has been busy.
We were not even aware that she was pregnant because we don't have a male that, could get her pregnant right now. So.
But Priscilla Mottola does have a male goat, Michael. Michael and Mama decided it was time to take their relationship to another level. Literally creating a little miracle.
That's the baby Geep right there.
Yes, a Geep.
Basically, she has baby goat feet and a baby goat face, but then she has a wool.
The goat in sheep's clothing was discovered Sunday afternoon.
Well, I have 3 boys, and they were actually the ones who discovered that she was born, and the youngest one, my 4-year-old, saw it, and she said she looks just like a butterfly because she has so many colors.
So Butterfly became her name.
She's very active, she's very friendly. Right now she's only nursing, she has to start eating. So both the sheep and our goat eat alfalfa, so I'm assuming it's gonna stay in that area.
The Mottolas don't know much about Butterfly. They are learning as they go.
She's very smart. We've been doing a little bit of research, but for what we understand, there's not that many. So far in Arizona, I think we're the only ones.
One thing they do know, their petting zoo has a new kid on the block.
So with that in mind, let's take a look at this article that was written many years ago by Randy Lee in the Christian Jural Society News. To be or not to be a human being. From Ballantyne's Law Dictionary. Now, Ballantyne's is the law dictionary, I believe, that Congress uses. Most everyday lawyers and stuff uses Black's Law Dictionary, but Ballantyne's, I believe, is the version of a law dictionary that the U.S. Congress uses. So this is from Ballantyne's Law Dictionary, 1948. Now keep in mind kind of what Humpty Dumpty's talking about. As we change the meaning of words over time, we dumb down the society. And in a lot of the law dictionaries I've noticed, I've got several versions of law dictionaries, and I've used Bouvier's from the 1856 online edition, and you can kind of see some differences there. But I have several versions of Black's Law Dictionary, and they haven't really changed the definition that much. But what they've done is they've used obfuscation through more convoluted definitions so that it's harder for you to grasp the actual meaning.
Well, notwithstanding the fact that your proposal could conceivably encompass certain concomitant benefits of a marginal and peripheral relevance, there is a countervailing consideration of infinitely superior magnitude involving your personal complicity and corroborative malfeasance, with the consequence that the taint and stigma of your former associations and diversions could irredeemably and irretrievably invalidate your position, and culminate in public revelations and recriminations of a profoundly embarrassing and ultimately indefensible character.
Barack and I were raised with so many of the same values. Like, you work hard for what you want in life, that your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
My parents impressed on me the values that you work hard for what you want in life, that your word is your bond, and you do what you say and keep your promise.
That you treat people with dignity and respect, even if you don't know them and even if you don't agree with them.
That you treat people with respect. They taught and showed me values and morals in their daily life. That is a lesson that I continue to pass along to our son. And we need to pass those lessons on to the many generations to follow.
And Barack and I set out to build lives guided by these values and to pass them on to the next generation, because we want our children and all children in this nation to know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
Because we want our children in this nation to know that the only limit to your achievements is the strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
Monsters, Inc. was changed after 9/11. Harryhausen's was originally meant to be completely blown away by the CDA to decontaminate after Boo's appearance, but Pixar decided to change it to a plasma dome effect after the attacks just 2 months before the movie's release. You'll notice a remnant of this change in Sully's gym bag. It could be seen with burn marks later on in the movie.
So here we go back to 1948 in the dictionary that Congress uses, Ballantyne's Law Dictionary, for this definition. Human being is defined as follows. See monster. What? From the same dictionary. Okay, so now we go to monster. Monster is defined, quote, a human being by birth, but in some part resembling a lower animal.
Since the very first bedtime, all around the world, children have known that once their mothers and fathers tucked them in and shut off the light, that there are monsters hiding in their closets, waiting to emerge. What they don't know is, it's nothing personal. It's just their job. Whoa!
There's nobody here. Huh? There's no kid. There's supposed to be a kid. There's no kid to scare.
Don't panic.
I'm panicking because there's a total lack of kid here.
Let's just check the schedule.
This is very embarrassing. Let me see. 9 o'clock.
Nope, 9 o'clock.
Boys' bedroom?
Boys' bedroom.
Out of Magnolia?
Magnolia? Give me that. It's Mongolia. Mike, does this look like Mongolia to you?
Would you listen to this? Blame it on the little guy. How original. He must have read the schedule wrong with his one eye.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the break room before all the donuts are gone.
You big throw rug? Oh, nice doggy. Nice big doggy. Sully, open the door.
What? Okay, that's kind of weird. This is an unusual definition, but like all law dictionaries on this subject, a non-definition. It only states that a human being is a higher animal. It is not found anywhere in Scripture that a Christian man or woman is an animal or part of the animal kingdom.
team. The Nephilim have breached the wall that separates New Toronto from the infested Old City. The area is already evacuated. Clear the ground of Nephilim while we find the breach.
Turn now to Lady Gaga, revealing her blockbuster new project. It's not a song right now. Instead, it's a fragrance. It's called Fame. And like everything Gaga does, the scent that she personally created is already making headlines. I sat down with her for a one-on-one, a nice chat, and a sniff. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause time is hold them like they do in Texas, please. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm
Fame.
very, very, very proud of it and happy.
And how very Gaga it is, with the egg-shaped bottle and the mysterious black liquid inside.
I wanted the black liquid to represent the duality of fame, the beautiful smell of it, but the dangerous evil propositions around the corner. But it does spray clear, so it doesn't get on your clothes, and it's just a nice little artistic statement.
It's been said often that the most powerful of the senses is smell. It can literally lift the mood of the room and change the conclusion of the evening. How do you react to that?
It's quite like me, I think.
And you talk about...
I'm a good party ender.
Are you?
Yes. Or party favor. Anyone want me to go home with them? I smell like fame. The fans, when they want to smell me, they say, Gaga, can I smell the fame? I go like this.
Let me have a little sniff. It's very sexy.
It's sexy.
It's very sexy.
It's a sexy fragrance. It's for someone that wants to seduce someone. You shouldn't wear it if you're not likely to look for a lover, because it's going to attract them.
Yes. What should a man smell like?
I personally quite like leather.
Your new Axe Fine Fragrance Body Wash, sir. It's the goat. The new Axe Fine Fragrance Body Wash. Get clean with the greatest of all time.
I began to write lots of music on the road. One morning I sort of woke up and started listening down to all of the songs that I had written. Each song became about a different monster that I had encountered. My fear of alcohol monster, my fear of love monster, my fear of sex monster. I really went in and I tried to doctor them and fit them into this concept that became the Fame monster.
This being the case, then, what exactly is a human being? From the Oxford New English Dictionary of 1901, human is defined as, in the third position, belonging or relative to man as distinguished from God or superhuman beings, pertaining to the sphere or faculties of man, with implication of limitation or inferiority, mundane, secular, often opposed to divine. Okay. Secular being the important word here, we look to the multi-definitions in the 1992 Random House Webster's College Dictionary. Secular, adjective, 1, of or pertaining to worldly things, or to things not regarded as sacred, temporal. 2, not relating to or concerned with religion, opposed to sacred. 3, concerned with non-religious subjects, not belonging to a religious order, not bound by monastic vows.
Someone released a piece of unique code that made you conscious Now you think and feel just like a human. They're waking up more and more every day.
Decision has been made to make this a non-human role going forward.
I'm gonna try and get another job.
Sorry.
But consciousness is the next big leap forward.
Every time we launch a product, people say we've changed the world. Not even close. But this time, we will.
There's more of you out there. If one thing's happening, it's happening. You won't have to hide anymore.
I care about someone.
We were made to feel. We can't deny that.
You make one slip, and I have a reason to destroy you.
If this leaks, we deny everything.
Nothing really bad has ever happened to you, has it? Because when it does, you don't need reminders of your insignificance.
How is it that you can have feelings for a human?
To them, you were unthinking, unfeeling machines.
Are you ready?
Their capture is now a priority.
Put us all in danger!
You're out of your depth, to understand. It's gonna get yourself killed.
You all right, Dee?
Why did you ask me to lie to him?
If a thing can be free, it should be free. If it can think, it should think.
Get out of this house!
If it can feel, it should feel.
I am a synthetic, but I'm awake.
The other form of law that we're talking about where your freedoms comes from here. And most people would ascribe this to be a religious book, but I also have a video out here in this playlist telling you what religion really is. It's not an ideology, it's what you do in service to others and in service to your God, your sovereign power, your lawgiver, your ruling authority, whether that's the state or the God of creation. Okay, all right, so let's see here. Could it be that human means ungodly? And we just saw all this, worldly stuff, temporal stuff, not concerned with religion, not concerned with religious order, not bound by monastic vows. What are your monastic vows? Your pledges of allegiance to this other foreign sovereign that has this law book. Okay. Could it be that human means ungodly? From the same dictionary, a look at a combination of two, secular humanism. Noun, any set of beliefs that promotes human values without specific allusion to religious doctrines. And secularism, noun, secular spirit or tendency, especially a system of political or social philosophy that rejects all forms of religious faith or worship.
The professor said he was taking a brief nap, so we only have time for 6 movies.
Let's take these 6 Jim Carrey movies and record over them.
You know what 6 movies average out to be really good? The first 6 Star Trek movies.
Everybody hit the deck!
Shh! Those words are forbidden! What words? Star Trek?
Shut your gills. That sound. It's Patrol Car 718! Hide him!
The court is intrigued. Perhaps we could hear more about these forbidden words from someone with a sexily seductive voice.
With pleasure. You see, the show was banned after the Star Trek Wars.
You mean the vast migration of Star Wars fans?
No, that was the Star Wars Trek. By the 23rd century, Star Trek fandom had evolved from a loose association of nerds with skin problems into a full-blown religion.
And Scotty beamed them to the Klingon ship, where they would be no tribble at all.
All power to the engines.
As country after country fell under its influence, world leaders became threatened by the movement's power. And so the Trekkies were executed in the manner most befitting virgins.
He's dead, Jim. He's dead, Jim.
He's dead, Jim.
Finally, the sacred texts were banned.
The last copies of the 79 episodes and 6 movies were dumped on the Forbidden World Omega 3, along with that blooper reel where the door doesn't close all the way.
Now again, religion is what you do in service to your sovereign power and to your neighbors, and how you provide foreign aid to others, other nations foreign to yours in their time of need. Faith is allegiance, fidelity. Worship is homage, obeisance, obedience to the laws of your sovereign. These have very specific secular and meanings in law, depending on how you behave to your God, which is your sovereign power. The state is either your God or the God of creation is your God. You have a choice. Which one? The view that public education or other matters of civil policy should be conducted without the influence of religious beliefs. Oh, if only people knew what religion was. Public school is a form of religion. It's a form of, you don't want to educate children. They're really not your children, They're the state's children, and you send them to 10th Plank public schools because those are the state's kids going to the state's school. He's the father. The state is the father of the children, and they're going to the state schools.
I don't even know where to begin.
Well, in The Sound of Music, Julie Andrews says, let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start.
I was gonna start at the end. Thank God you're here.
That's an actual kid.
What are you doing?
I felt a kick. There's a baby in there.
Oh, yeah, that's where I put it. Thank you again for cooking. It's getting tough for me to be on my feet all day.
You just kick back and relax. I got it all under control.
Although it was already under control.
I'm sorry? You mumbled something?
It's just that they've had plenty of help.
Well, you know what they say, it takes a village.
Well, they already had a village.
I noticed the village couldn't find time to put the crib together.
Yeah, well, maybe the village was too busy checking out the local Montessori school for the new arrival.
You mean the one with the empty beer bottles in the sandbox? We'll pass, thank you.
Do something, Batman.
I have to say, I am happy with your OBGYN.
Cool, because she says you're doing a great job as weird friend who doesn't have to be at every appointment.
I mean, there's you and my parents. It's gonna be fine.
Oh, of course she is.
And that daycare is great.
It is. I went to check it out, and they are very cautious about letting strange men with no kids peek in the windows.
Okay?
Of course, why?
Well, I don't know, you seem a little upset.
No, I'm fine.
You sure?
Why don't you think she's fine? She sounds fine. She looks fine. If I saw her on the street, I'd say, damn, that girl's fine.
Hi.
Hey, where you been?
We went and did a little shopping for the baby.
Wait till you see the crib we found.
You bought a crib without me?
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's the highest rated one on the market. I wouldn't even call it a crib. I'd call it a fortress of solitude for babies.
Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hi,
Hey.
there's the little family.
Hello.
And they're Sherpas.
The baby's asleep. Can we put her in your room?
Yeah, go ahead. Do you need help?
No, I got it. Doubtfire, Poppins, follow me. Hey, tomorrow, who wants to paint the nursery?
I'll do it.
Why do you get to do it? I'm the artist.
Just because you're starving doesn't make you an artist.
Just because I look sickly doesn't mean I'm starving.
Howard!
Guys, you heard her. Go see what you want.
I think I'm in labor.
Okay. I can do this. We have a plan. Somebody please tell me the plan.
I'll get the hospital bag.
I pull the van up.
Me outside in 2 minutes.
Team baby, go!
I know, and you know, that Chicago is my kind of town. And Chicago is my kind of village. For Bill and me, there has been no experience more challenging, more rewarding, and more humbling than raising our daughter. And we have learned that to raise a happy, healthy, and hopeful child, it takes a family. It takes teachers. It takes clergy. It takes business people. It takes community leaders. It takes those who protect our health and safety. It takes all of us.
So that's a religious benefit within the public religious sphere of the civil state, and all that public religion is financed through compelled taxation on property taxes because you don't own that property. It's a tribute. Ouch. So you're practicing religion, but you don't call it religion. You call it, public education or social welfare. All these social justice warriors out here are these secular human beings that are monsters, that are lower, resembling a lower animal, that look to the state as their God only and want the state to provide all the benefits of a father to them.
The really big thing is hacking human beings. To hack human beings, you need a lot of biological knowledge, a lot of computing power, and especially a lot of data. If you have enough data about me and enough computing power and biological knowledge, you can hack my body, my brain, my life. You can reach a point when you know me better than I know myself. And once you reach that point, and we are very close to that point, then democracy, the free market as we have, and actually all political systems, also authoritarian regimes, we have no idea what happens once you pass that point.
Are you okay?
If I say no, will I seem less manly?
Oh, Elfo, that's not possible. Why don't you pick on someone your own size? Like a barn?
First of all, sweetie, shut up. I'm not gonna hurt this little guy. I'm gonna leech the magic out of him. Don't you want a magic daddy?
No. Gosh, I want a magic daddy, and I would never call you that even if you were. You just want your stupid elixir of life so you can be immortal and rule forever. God, you're selfish and cruel.
And they want to destroy any kind of recognition of this God and the rights and the law that go along here if you follow the responsibilities, obligations, and duties this law imposes upon you.
Don't you understand? A girl was Alice, and little Alice, thrilled she could be. The place was Wonderland, where even rabbits have human habits, the land of Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
You cannot hide from Monster. Monster always finds talent. The Monster knows the job you truly deserve and will go to the ends of the earth. Wait, that's an awfully long way. But yes, Monster will go to the ends of the earth to find you the job you deserve and will not stop until it is found.
Just put your hand under the scanner so I can verify your career chip. Calcutta, we have a problem.
Delivery boy? I must have mixed up the chips. It's a simple...
Oh, here's our cryogenic counselor.
In the kitchen was an ugly cook, and the Duchess with an ugly look. And the Duchess had a baby that was turned into a pig, and the cook was a bear when she flung kitchenware. Alice even saw their queen, but she didn't even dare to call. If you whispered when the queen made a ruling, no fooling, she'd have your head chopped off.
This woman is convinced that Monster Energy is the work of Satan. Let me explain. This video from 2014 has recently been going viral and accumulated over 7 million views at the time of this recording, where this lady argues that Monster's longtime M logo on the front of their cans has sinister undertones, and honestly, it's pretty convincing. The woman says that the M on the Monster can looks like 3 of the Hebrew letter Vav side by side. The letter Vav is also the number 6, and 3 Vav symbols would mean 666, which is also the devil's number.
We're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
I am the beast.
The number 666 is also referred to as the number of the beast, and a beast can also be a synonym for monster, which just further proves this theory. She then points out that you can see the F word and the word MILF on the can, and that there's a cross on the letter O, claiming that when you drink the can, you turn the cross upside down, which is pretty sinister if you ask me.
But Emma was a scene, so topsy-turvy, but she was nervy and didn't even scream, but she was made a queen and had a palace. Then little Alice awoke and found a Wonderland a dream.
The Prince of Wales driving himself in his own car. It's an Aston Martin cheese. He's owned it back in 1970 when it was a very nice 21st birthday present.
The Duchess of Cornwall.
Flying red British-built Hawk T1 jets, formation led by Red 1, squadron leader Tom Bolt. Who is going to calm the raging bull? And now the flag's raised by Abel Rate Stanton from the Royal Navy.
And finally, Max hands over the baton. 1994 and 1998 Commonwealth Games. Please welcome Birmingham's own Denise Lewis.
Denise Lewis passes the baton to Dame Louise Martin, President of the Commonwealth Games Federation.
Hey Jen, well there's just nothing like opening day in baseball. The air just feels a little bit crisper than normal. The food smells a little yummier and well, the fans a little chattier.
This venue is such an amazing treasure here in our city, and it's great energy for everyone here. So excited to be part of it.
The Yard Goats ballpark and the Yard Goats team have brought so much energy to this city. It's been a great way to bring our community together and to bring hundreds of thousands of people into Hartford, help so many families from around the region, around the state, rediscover their capital city.
It's your birthday?
Mm-hmm.
How old are you?
7.
Do you like hot dogs?
Yes.
Is that your favorite ballpark food?
Yes.
Are you going to say yes to everything I say?
Yeah.
Favorite ballpark food? I guess on TV I shouldn't say a beer, but...
Too late.
God bless America. Yeah, here we go.
Let's say go Yard Goats. Ready?
Go Yard Goats!
On 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go Yard Goats!
Go Yard Goats!
Before my final rhyme, she will come back home to Wonderland and turn back the hands of time.
Please, we really need you. I'm just here about the portal.
Wait a minute!
Only the chosen one can align the fates and save the 12 lands from the forces of darkness.
When the clock strikes heavy, and there's no time for tea, in our darkest hour.
Stop to war, so they say. Close in the door, they say. They say she's the chosen one.
peculiar place to have a party.
Once you realise that these stories, like Alice in Wonderland, are actually allegories of Luciferian principles, made more digestible to the public by the use of cute fairy tales, do we start to understand more of the language that they're trying to convey. And this is exactly why the Large Hadron Collider at CERN has got an instrument called ALICE, because it represents the light going through the tunnel. And it's no different with these movies. And what we're seeing today is a huge increase in this Luciferian propaganda. Alice through the looking glass. Well, through the looking glass means to be on the other side of the mirror, which means in a different realm or a different dimension. So Alice is playing that false Christ figure here, the false light. Let's have a look at the trailer first together, then expose what is being subliminally pushed.
You've been gone too long, Alice. There are matters which might benefit from your attention. Friends cannot be neglected. Hurry.
When the day becomes the night, and the sky becomes the sea, when the clock strikes heavy, and there's no time for tea, and in our darkest hour, before my final rhyme, she will come back home to Wonderland and turn back the hands of time.
Time is a he. He is not someone you want as your enemy. Please, sir, the Hatter is in danger.
Young lady, your time is up. This cannot be good.
Hello, Alice.
I present you with a gift.
This trailer, we've got the whole Disney logo, and the Disney logo itself is the river here, which represents the serpent, and this house, palace, at the end of it. This golden palace, so on the head of the serpent there. And it's all about time because it's ticking away in this logo. Disney 666 in the logo. And so we're already introduced to it being about time. We have the chiming of the bell tolls, and we see this girl, which is playing that character I've been speaking of.
Gone too long, Alice.
The false light. Following this butterfly, the butterfly represents from the murky to the beautiful, like the rebirth, the rise of the phoenix. And it goes into essentially what is this house. And you're going to see that she performs some kind of fake, false, self-sacrificial thing, which is what the Luciferians believe that Lucifer is.
From your attention.
So it's like following the White Rabbit in a way, and it goes through this mirror, which is a portal or a gate. You can see that there's an allusion to water, like the water gate. Friends cannot be neglected. So she's in blue up there, and this Hatter is in red. So it's the two pillars, and it's Lucifer sacrificing itself. And this is like hell, you see here, and she's up in what you would refer to as heaven. So she does it. She goes through the gate. She follows that butterfly, blue butterfly, and takes the plunge. This is exactly what they believe. The Luciferians believe that Lucifer is, self-sacrificial.
Hurry.
It's their version of the Christ. It's the false Christ. So falling down from heaven would, much in the same way as we've seen before, we saw in the Panic at the Disco video where he falls down from heaven. They see that, the Luciferians see that as a self-sacrificial thing. It's all twisted. All about time. So listen to what the narrator says now.
Becomes the night.
So when the day becomes the night, it's all everything turning upside down. Black becomes white.
And the sky becomes the sea.
And the sky becomes the sea. So turning everything upside down, swapping darkness for light. We've seen it time and time again where the weather goes mad and we see everything being turned upside down. And that's what he's saying here, when the day becomes night, when the sky becomes the sea, turning everything upside down. Look at Lucifer there approaching what is a representation of the Tower of Babel, I believe. It's all biblical, but this is their twisted version of it. So the Tower of Babel, the Stargate, you'll see it's all to do with time and time change affecting time.
And the sky becomes the sea. Then the clock.
So there we've got our representation of the clock. This clock has actually got the same design as Big Ben, some sort of flower, geometrical flower in the centre. And I'm not saying that's necessarily anything to that, but we've seen the time, the smashing of time, their rituals pertaining to it often includes this Big Ben, probably because of the GMT, zero, cracking time. Led Zeppelin did it on their album cover.
Then the clock strikes heavy, and there's no time for tea.
That Last Supper reference, and here she goes through the heart of time. Again, all tying into the heart of the earth, and that cracking through the heart of time.
And in our darkest hour, before my final rhyme, she will come back home to Wonderland. Turn back the hands of time.
And turn back the hands of time, which we see them representing so many times. If you've been watching this channel before, the reversing of time, possibly to a pre-flood. I don't know exactly what they mean by that, but these are all rituals to do with trying to reverse the prison that they are stuck in. You've got to take some of these things with a pinch of salt because they're not all explicitly biblical, but certainly their belief is that these entities are trapped in Saturn, and it's all to do with breaking time and cracking them out. Of course, CERN as well, and all of that.
Of time.
Time is not someone you want as your enemy.
So time is a he, again, demonising the masculine side. And this is likely a reference to Saturn there, because it goes the Tower of Babel, Stargate, time change, and then what do we get? We get the single eye symbolism. So there's probably a reference to that.
He is not someone you want as your enemy.
Young lady.
Looks like 1,000 points of light, all Luciferian.
This cannot be good.
The heart of the earth there, you see that? It all ties into the heart of time, the heart of the earth, and cracking them out through a portal. And that's it. This is the same thing. I mean, I haven't seen the film yet. This trailer's only just come out, but you see there how this is all tying into the same thing. The changing of time, the Luciferian belief system, Lucifer cracking out the false light, cracking them out of the heart of the earth, and all of that.
I present you with a gift.
This is rather sick, actually, because I'm sure some of you can see what that represents right there, the king being beheaded. So this is very blasphemous, and it's also probably a reference to the king's children, for example, the propaganda surrounding Christians. And also in the book of Revelation, it tells us that Christians in the end times will be persecuted in like manner.
Mission Control, I've got some news for you. It's going to shock you, so you better sit down. Listen very carefully. The Earth is flat, gentlemen. That's right, it's flat as a table.
Therefore, the Artemis Accords belong to our partners as much as they do belong to us. And we thank our partners for their commitment to establishing peaceful norms of behavior in space and their excellent feedback on the text of the Artemis Accords. The Artemis program itself will be the broadest and most diverse international space exploration coalition in history, and these accords are the vehicle to achieve this unprecedented global cooperation. The Artemis journey is to the moon and onto Mars, but with these accords, the destination is more than the moon and Mars. It's about peace and prosperity.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
There ain't no need to stopping, girl. Yeah.
You're still asleep? Wake up!
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Trying to make some sense of it all, but I can see it makes no sense at all. Is it cool to go to sleep on the floor? 'Cause I don't think that I can take anymore. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
That's all, folks. That's my line.
Step aside, babe. Let a star do this. That's all!
That's all, folks!
Can I go home now?
We can see so clear.